on FM and AM 1160. My recorder is not working. There, it finally clicked in. Gracious. Monday morning for the recorder, too. It's 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Glad that you're with us here today. He is Indiana Borough Police, retired police detective, police officer. John Scherf joins us in the studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Todd. Thanks for having me.
You look nice and bright and shiny like you've been getting your rest now, finally.
I have been.
Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. When your retirement came through, and the retirements of several of your colleagues over the past couple of years, they really marked changing points, turning points for Indiana Borough as guys and gals go by and they enter their retirement years. We understand what a big resource we're losing. Fortunately, we're not losing you altogether. You're still going to be very much involved in the law enforcement community around here. But how many years with Indiana Borough Police?
25 years with Indiana Borough.
And as I said last hour, people in your line of work don't just serve one police force in their careers. It takes a while for you to find a position where you're most comfortable or a position that fits best for you. How many other police departments for how many other years?
I had 2 years prior to coming to Indiana.
Oh, that's pretty good.
For a total of 27. I worked for Leechburg Borough, was my first part-time police job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got hired for this city of McKeesport. I worked in the city of Duquesne, which is near Kennywood Park.
Yeah.
And a great area to work. Always a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I would guess.
I consider high crime areas.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of good experience down there. And then got hired here in January 27th of 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And, I went to school at IUP. Indiana is a great town and a great place to raise a family. Nothing against Allegheny County or City of Duquesne or McKeesport. My wife's from McKeesport. But Indiana Borough is where my passion is, and I love Indiana.
Well, it's a different place from Allegheny County. It's a different pace of life. It's a whole different atmosphere. And yeah, I think a lot of people when they come to Indiana say, yeah, this is more like it for me. And for you, that seems to have been the case. Are you originally from this area, other than having gone to IUP?
No, I'm originally from Ford City, down in Armstrong County.
Mm-hmm.
Came up, went to IUP, and then took the job in McKeesport and job in Duquesne.
Yeah.
After Leechburg.
Yeah.
So I went to the police academy here at IUP, Municipal Academy.
And in the years here at Indiana, of course, you don't just start out with one position. You start out at doing this, and then you graduate to this. You're promoted to that. You're named to this, and the positions change, the duties change. For you, when you consider how you started here in Indiana and the duties you were doing then, how different were they from what you were doing when you retired just a couple of weeks ago?
Very different. When I started, I did probably the first 6 months sitting on the desk answering the telephone because we had dispatchers that were out in and out for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked daylight shift, walking the beat in the downtown area. And the beat downtown area is way different than I worked in McKeesport, walking the beat in the housing projects. So it was a total different world for me. And,
Mm-hmm.
At first I was pretty bored. In the early, 1997, walking the beat, there wasn't a whole lot of crime going on in downtown Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
But Indiana has changed over the years, and along with that, we started to see, more violent crimes, and I was hoping that I would be in a role that I could investigate those crimes, and eventually I was.
Yeah, well, let's talk about how that develops. Of course, you're working with some wonderful men and women with Indiana Borough. From the administrative side, from the town council side, working directly with the mayors and great police chiefs down through the years, and your colleagues with the police. Eventually, you do become a detective, and you're involved. We see your name on every police report that comes in, because those are crimes that, while it's sad that they still happen in this day and age, they're never going to go away. There's always going to be something going on, people trying to take advantage of one another, and we need folks who are going to be able to investigate them and to make sure that justice is served. And that's the ultimate goal, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And the crimes are changing, and we hadn't had a murder here in Indiana from 1980. When I got hired here, the bus station murder was the last one, and it was from 1980.
Yeah,
I believe. So you're talking 17 years we went without a homicide, and then I think it was right around 99 or 2000 when we had the Russian student that was murdered here, and then a few years after that we started getting one homicide, maybe two homicides, some shootings and stabbings, and just different more violent crimes. We have a lot of home invasion robberies that I've investigated, most of them drug related, and most of our homicides were in some fashion drug related.
And that's where some of your most important work happens, is in that drug field.
Yes.
The drug trade, I had one police officer, or I can't remember who it was, law enforcement representative one time tell me that once they expanded and made Route 22 such a good highway, that's when we had the direct pipeline heading right into Indiana. People could fly up here from Pittsburgh, make their deal, turn around, be back on the expressway, and within an hour and a half they could be back in their home neighborhood in Allegheny County, and no one the wiser.
Yes. Now what we're seeing the trend is because we have taken a harsher stance on drug dealers in Indiana County, that our users will actually make the trip to Pittsburgh to pick up. So the dealers are staying out of Indiana, but the product's still coming here. So a lot of times the buyers will drive to Pittsburgh, get a couple bricks of heroin, drive back.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder for us to prosecute the dealers because they're not necessarily coming out of Allegheny County, but their product's coming here.
Yeah, and I know from talking to Pat Doherty and then his successor, Bob Manzi, that those drug investigations, you really have to nail down all of the facts, and before they ever get to the point of an arrest, you have to be pretty solid on what your knowledge is and how you are pursuing the case in legal terms, don't you?
Yes, and we're tightening those up year after year with different techniques that we use, and so that the cases are a lot more solid, and then people are more likely to take a plea and not go to trial. Yeah,
and of course they can also turn in some of the others with whom they've been dealing, and
yes,
that's a part of that whole process as well. We're talking with John Scherf, who, okay, goodbye to all that. You never have to do that again, or do you? Because you're not stepping away completely, are you?
I'm not. I'm only 52. Put in 25 years at Indiana Borough. I'm a little young to sit at home. So
is that your wife's choice?
Well, she can always find things for me to do. Trust me. But my passion is law enforcement, and it's not easy to walk away after 27 years. So I did approach Sheriff Bob Fyock about putting me on as a part-time deputy. So I'm going to work every other week at the courthouse. So I'll have 26 weeks vacation a year.
There you go.
26 weeks retirement. So I sort of semi-retired, but it's a different job. It's not investigations. It's not, homicides or rapes or anything like that. I'll be doing transports and security and serving some warrants and civil papers for the courthouse. Yeah. Nothing but respect for Bob Fyock and appreciate that opportunity. And we'll see where it goes from there. And I will be still active as one of the coordinators with the County Drug Task Force. So you might be seeing me out there doing some things.
But that's,
and then who knows?
Yeah, that's such important work, that drug task force. And I know that the DA coordinates it, but needs good men and women such as you who are going to help with that. And the experience you bring to it is just going to be more helpful to the new folks coming on.
Right. Yeah. When I started at Indiana Borough, we had guys with 30 years, 40, 35 years on the job. And you don't see that anymore. I was the oldest officer there, and I'm only 52 years old. I had 25 years service. Yeah. So that era of working 30, 35 years for the same department I don't want to say you get bored, but you need a change.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get in a rut. You don't want to become complacent.
Yeah.
That's how people get hurt. But I would like to shout out to Leroy Anderson. He was my partner when I left Indiana Borough.
Mm-hmm.
Great officer, great detective. Jeff Atherton's detective sergeant over there, and Scott Schuler that retired. A lot of times you said, well, we see your name on all these reports, but there's a lot of things going on in the background.
Sure.
Search warrants being written, evidence being sealed and packaged, us going through dumpsters. I mean, all the garbage bags I've ripped open and dug through in these investigations, and search warrants on cell phones. It's not just me.
Yeah.
A lot of help goes into that. Just because my name might be at the top of the paper that's signed on the warrants, we're a team, and I really appreciate the teamwork that went into these cases over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just looking forward to the fact that you're going to still be a part of this whole process. Maybe the role changes a little bit, but now you're not trying to chase down a 25-year-old kid at the age of 52. You're not jumping over hedges.
I
and
could
stuff
still
like
do
that.
it, though.
Could you do it? Well, they're not in as good a shape now as they were when we were younger.
That's right. Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you'll be doing in your retirement years? I find that so hard to say, retirement years, but what are some of the other things that you'll be pursuing? Do you have great hobbies that you've been neglecting and you want to get back to?
Yeah, I have a canoe that I haven't used in 5 years.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I've worked a lot of overtime especially the last 3 years, and so it is time to take some time off. Like I said, I will have 26 weeks a year to do what I want, and maybe take a couple trips with my wife to the beach. We love going, somewhere a little warmer. Going with the kids, and I like to hunt and fish, so I spend a little bit more time in the tree stand and a little more time maybe fishing a little bit.
There you go.
But just unwinding a little bit.
Where do you like to canoe?
We like to go up to the Clarion,
Yeah.
float down the Clarion River in the summertime. It's nice up there.
Yeah,
So,
it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Try to spend a little more time with the family. As a police officer, you unfortunately, you miss birthdays, you miss holidays, you miss anniversaries.
Yeah.
I spent a lot more time with Scott Schuler than I did with my wife. She used to say, "That's your other wife." So try to get some of that time back.
Yeah.
You can't bring time back, but make up for lost time.
Sure. And of course, police work is a family business with you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just you. The entire family gets involved in that, and right at the Indiana Borough Police level as well.
Right. I mean, I've made arrests off duty. My wife could tell you stories.
I should have had her in here.
Yeah, a lot of stories of just not being able to turn it off necessarily, but it becomes a lifestyle, and I'm glad I had a great career, and we had a lot of fun, and hopefully made a difference.
It does take a very special person like her, though, doesn't
Yes.
it, in order to do what you did?
Yes, and it's funny, she never worried about me.
Yeah.
No matter what we were doing, and she knew. I'm not the type of person that doesn't come home and unwind and talk about work. I do.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, people say, well, I don't talk about work at home, and I keep this stuff all. If you bottle things up, eventually they're going to come out.
Yeah.
And my wife's my rock and my counselor, I guess you could say.
Sounds like she's your sounding board in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah. So without her, I don't know what I would have done over the years, but she's been a great partner.
Well, we'll see him in a number of different capacities, still involved in law enforcement, still helping Indiana County to get it done and to get it done right. We appreciate your coming in to spend some time with us today. Wish you the best, and just go out and enjoy life a little bit.
That's the plan.
There you go.
That's the plan.
There you go. See the twinkle in the eye? That's a guy that's retired. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.